Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. I just got back from Maui with my wife. We had a great time. We went to Kihei, which is about 20 miles from Lahaina, where the fire was. And in Kihei, the merchants were telling me that there was only about maybe half the foot traffic or a third of the foot traffic. Tourism is their number one industry, so they were really grateful we were there. And, they're hoping people will come. They're not happy about all the people that are not going, because a lot of Maui is perfectly, of course, all Maui is reeling from this great tragedy, but a lot of Maui is perfectly set up for tourists. And again, they need that tourism for their economy. So it's great to be back. Did some snorkeling, among other things, spent a lot of time on the beaches. While I was snorkeling, I looked for some 1952 Topps cards, but I did not find any, unfortunately. However, a sea turtle came right by me. That was really cool. So graceful swimming in the water. I don't think of turtles as graceful, but wow, that sea turtle swimming, and then all of these fish trailing behind to eat the algae or whatever off of his shell in this symbiotic relationship. Kind of cool. Anyway, speaking of 1952 Topps, I have a new 1952 Topps card, one I have wanted for a long time. The glorious 1952 Topps Bob Feller. First, let me say, one of my neighbors is having a party. It's a country music party. Goes till 10 p.m., so you'll hear that in the background. I decided to just leave the windows open. It's kind of hot. We don't have the AC on right now. So a little bit on the warm side, so I hope that country music is okay. It doesn't necessarily go with this Hawaiian-themed shirt. By the way, when I was in Hawaii, I got to spend some time with my buddy, Dylan, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. We had a fantastic time. Dylan showed me around, very gracious host, good friend in this hobby. And that was so cool. And we stayed out at night looking at the stars and talking about sports cards. And then in his glorious card room, which I like to call Card Paradise, I got to check out a lot of his cards, not all of them. And we had a fantastic conversation. Probably went a couple hours, but unfortunately the video only captured, a lot less of it. I think Dylan will probably be editing and posting that at some point. But thank you, Dylan. Just had a fantastic time. So it was so great to connect with you. Well, without further ado, let's check this stunning beauty out. This card, look, I have tried to create a little suspense here by covering up this card, because it is just absolutely stunning. I think it's a 52 Topps refractor. It looks like it to me. Are you ready? All right, get your collector bibs on. You're going to be drooling uncontrollably. Are you ready? Here we go. Wow. Now, if you met this card in a dark alley and then you turned on a light to check it out, what grade would you give this bad boy? 10, 11, 12? Well, apparently, this is a 3. Well, all I know is it's absolutely tremendous. Check this beauty out. There's just the tiniest little, dent on that corner, just the tiniest little wear up here. The registration is actually really nice for this issue, because this picture image, does not come super sharp. A little bit off center to the left and up, but not diamond cut by any means. This card is just screaming gorgeous and fresh. You can see might be able to see a tiny little paper chip up there, but if you get out your magnifying glass, I do not see any paper wrinkles on this beauty or paper loss. It is just, in my humble opinion, amazing for the grade. Notice off center on the back, but hey, really clean, beautiful back. I don't know. I think these grading surfaces are being too harsh in my opinion, but here's the deal. Somebody could deny that this is a very good. I guess I went right up to the point of practically denying this is a very good and suggesting it's a higher grade. But of course, what do I know? That's just my opinion. I am not a professional grader, but one thing I can guarantee you cannot be denied. This may or may not be a very good feller, but it is absolutely a jolly good feller. And I tell you what, the French, with their great, insight into the future, they were actually singing about jolly good fellers in the early 1700s. I mean, there's such a rich history there. You might check into that. So let's just do this card the homage it deserves by, not denying the undeniable and singing the song that applies here. As anyone can see, the logic is infallible. For he's a jolly good feller, for he's a jolly good feller, for he's a jolly good feller, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. Now they might unsubscribe, but he's a jolly good feller, which nobody can deny. So maybe I lose some subscribers. Hey, I care about you subscribers, so I hope I don't. But, if you can't handle my singing with country music in the background, that is stunning. The 1952 Topps Bob Feller Refractor. The yellow. I mean, this card is just insanely nice. Now, here's the deal. Okay, I have friends like Double D, Dylan, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. Right now, they're going after super well-centered. And let me just say, I applaud him and others for that. I think that's really cool. There's absolutely something cool about seeing really well-centered cards displayed. On the other hand, for me personally, I will go after a card like this all day long. I mean, it is a 3, which is a low grade, so I didn't have to pay crazy money for it. And yet it's so sharp, does not have a diamond cut, vivid colors, solid registration for the issue. I mean, I will go after this card all day long and be proud to have it. Now, having said that, to each their own. Because if somebody else, just chooses to buy this card in a really low grade, say ungraded, that has a lot of surface issues or other things and does not cost them that much money, and they're happy to get it and have it in their collection, then I absolutely rejoice with them. So there's no wrong way to do it. But to me, personally, just my approach, I will go after a card like this all day long. Low grade at a fair price, where if you cover up that 3 number, heck, if we replace this 3 with a 5, I mean, would anyone object to that? I wouldn't, and I've looked over this card pretty carefully. I'd be like, makes sense to me. So, really stoked, but of course, it's not really about the grade. I'm just stoked because the card is so freaking awesome, and I did not have to pay too much for it, and I absolutely love it. Nobody can deny this may or may not be a very good, but this is a jolly good feller. Let's talk a little bit about Rapid Robert. The Bullet Bob, the heater from Van Meter, because he came from Van Meter, Iowa. Right off the farm, he started hurling for the Indians. I mean, this dude, as a young guy, was pretty darn amazing. He's got 266 wins against 162 losses. And if he had not spent, I believe it was about 4, maybe more, around 4 years in the military, in the Navy during World War II, he would no question be over 300 wins. No question. ERA, 3.25. Strikeouts, 2,581, which I think was third most at the time of his retirement. Triple Crown in 1940. Helped the Cleveland Indians, become World Series champions in 1948. 6-time American League wins leader. 7-time Major League Baseball strikeout leader. I believe he had the single-season strikeout record until it was broken at some point. I mean, this dude is amazing. Roughly 94% of the vote as a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the highest votes ever at that time. So, Ted Williams said about Feller, the fastest and best pitcher I ever saw during my career. Stan Musial believed that Feller was probably the greatest pitcher of our era. So this guy is just absolutely amazing. I mean, whenever you can add a 52 Topps card that is this glorious, oh, the yellow, the glorious yellow. I mean, this card looks great with country music in the background, with Hawaiian music, with, any type of music, classical, pop, rock, you name it. This card is just jolly good. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in my joy. SGC missed this one. I mean, I love SGC, but this is clearly not just very good. This is a jolly good feller. They should have given it that distinction. The French, were already basically praising jolly good fellers all the way back in the early 1700s. Sorry, SGC, love you, but you missed this one. This is a jolly good feller. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary. Take care, my friends.